Next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, UEFA Champions League Matchday numero 5. The Champions League is back. As you know, I've already dropped my 16 score predictions for the 16 games, and now it is time for Fantasy. The most competitive league in the world is back, the FBArmy Fantasy League. You know how it works. In this video, I'm going to show you how I did on Matchday 3 and 4, how my plans are for Matchday 5, what I'm going to change in my team, give you some tips, maybe you can take some inspiration, and let's go. Right now, when I'm recording this video, there are still 5 days and a few hours left until the deadline when you have to send in your teams. Please don't copy what I do right now. It is not smart to send in your team so many days before the deadline. The players that I'm going to pick for my team now could still get injured on the weekend and might not play in the week. I'm simply doing this right now because I want to get the video out for you guys in time. So if you're watching this, see who I'm picking and get some ideas for your own team, but wait until, I would say, Tuesday until you really register your team. And here we already see that my team needs me because one of my players, Edson Alvarez, won't play next week. I think he is suspended. Now this is how I did on Matchday 3 and 4. The last fantasy video came before I used my wildcard for Matchday 3. Well, 78 points, it was decent. I could have done a little bit better, to be honest. A few of them were not performing. Nacho didn't even play, I think. And Kunku didn't perform as he usually does. Mingueza also didn't play the full game. Lukaku only 3 points. So I was quite disappointed with a few guys there. Alexandro as well, only 2 points because he was subbed off before he hit the 60 minutes to get the clean sheet bonus. So a few things that kind of bothered me there, but still Benzema, player of the match. Salah was great. Thiago Silva with 10 points. It wasn't a bad match day at all. But then actually when I had no wildcard anymore, match day 4 was when I had my biggest match day so far in the whole season. 98 points with this team where I could only change 2 things. I had no chips anymore, so I decided to put in Vinicius for Lukaku and also Christensen for Mingueza. And that really paid off, I have to say. So many players who performed amazing. 3 man of the match performances in Kunku, Pedro Gonçalves and Karim Benzema. Vinicius with a 10 points as well. Danjuma 8, Christensen 7, Thiago Silva 7, Mondi 6. I really can't complain with this match day. 98 points. Let's go, baby. 341st in the FBArmy League now. You remember, I think after match day 1, I was 800 to 1000, something like that. And in the last video before match day 3, I was on 412. So despite more people are joining the league, I'm still kind of climbing in the ladder. So step by step, I'm getting there. You know, I pay the winner 250 euros, second one gets 150 euros, and 69th gets 69 euros at the end of the season. And who knows, I might actually grab my own prizes. Well, big goals. First of all, I want to get into the top 100 of my own league. That will already be amazing. The league right now, I think, has between 4,500 and 5,000 members. And if you still want to join, the link is in the description. As always, you know it. Enough waffling. Let's make some transfers for the Fiago 69ers for Matchday 5. 2 transfers to be precise because we have no chips left. We also have 1.6 million euros remaining budget. Let's see what we can do with this budget. The first of the 2 players we're going to remove today is obviously Edson Alvarez. He is suspended. Yes, he was nice to have. It's actually pretty sad. Only 4.8 million, but so many people picked him just because he always played for Ajax, but didn't cost much. He always played a lot. Got his 3rd yellow card, I think, and that means he's now suspended. Yes. So we're going to have to remove him. And the problem is the fact that he's been so cheap. It's pretty difficult to get a proper replacement here for the same price. Luckily, we still had 1.6 million in the bank. Now it's 6.4 that we can somehow use to get another midfielder that hopefully plays. But I do think that we have to remove another player and also save some money there because 6.5 million is still not a lot to get a proper midfielder. But I obviously made my research beforehand and I've picked a player that is a little bit more expensive than 6.4 million, but is still class, and I think we can afford him if we make other changes. Hans van Aken, the Belgian midfielder, key player for Club Brugge, has scored very well so far, 32 points. He costs 7.5 million euros and is only selected by 2% of the players, so basically a differential. Amazing against Leipzig. He scored 1 and gave 1 assist, also player of the match. He also scored against PSG, and I think, yeah, he also scored the 1 goal against Man City. But what is also remarkable is, despite rather being very attacking, he still contributes a lot in the defense as well. Recovers balls here, 5, 2, 4, and 3, so he also often gets the 1 point for balls recovered. If he recovers 6, then he's gonna get 2. So this guy is a real all-rounder actually, and he's gonna play Leipzig now. As you know from my UCL prediction video, I do expect Leipzig to win this game actually, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. It's gonna be a really tough battle, pretty much 50-50. And even if Leipzig win this, it's still very likely that they're gonna concede. So for this budget, I think he's the most reasonable choice actually. I also still have Nkunku. It's pretty weird having 2 midfielders from opposing teams in this game, but I just need this guy. guy. He's still, for this price, such a bargain. I think he's among the highest scorers of the whole season so far. So I just hope that it's going to be like 3-3 and both of them score a hat-trick. Well, that's pretty unrealistic, but let's be honest, I think it could be 2-1 Leipzig and Van Aken scores and Nkunku scores too. Why not? It's still likely. So I'm pretty confident with this player pick, but there is one problem. We are in debt right now. We have 1.1 million euros that we still somehow need to save somewhere. And who do we remove for that and get a cheaper replacement in? You know, the obvious choice for that would be our most expensive players. Benzema, Salah over 10 million, Vinicius, Nkunku, Pedro Gonçalves all over 8 million. Actually, what might be a smart move here is getting rid of Benzema at 10.2 million and getting in Sébastien Haller instead, because that is exactly the money we have, 1.1 million less. In general, the third highest scoring player already scored 7 goals so far in the Champions League and gave 1 assist, and he's playing Beşiktaş in Istanbul, so I do expect a big performance from him again. So that would be an option, but then on the other hand, is he really going to perform better than Benzema? I don't know, because Benzema in a crazy form as well, and I do think Real Madrid will get their big revenge against Sheriff there after losing to them here at home. So it would be an option and it might be smart, but I'm personally going for a different option. I'm rather having a look at my defense here. You know, I have 3 defensive Chelsea players, Edouard Mendy in goal, Thiago Silva and Christensen in defense, and then there is Alexandro. He's playing Chelsea now, and that kind of contradicts. And if you see my Champions League prediction, once again, I do think that the Blues will beat Juventus at the Stamford Bridge this time, plus the fact that Alexandro is my most expensive defender. So I could have got out Dumfries, Nacho, who might not even play as well, but to save money I need to get out him, and he's 5.8 million. So buy Alexandro. Now we have 1 free transfer and 4.7 million left to get a defender in that's gonna score more hopefully than Alexandro. And here are the defenders that we can afford now. I had the choice between 2 and I was really struggling. The first one that I had in mind was a guy that hasn't scored many points so far because he's barely played, but he's here. Kostas Tsimikas, and that is the question. Is he going to play now against Porto? Reason number 1, Robertson is not fully fit. He was subbed off injured in the international game with Scotland. Number 2, Liverpool are already through the group, so Klopp might want to rotate and play him against Porto. If he plays, I think he's going to be the best option for that money. But I'm still a little bit worried if he will, so I didn't want to take the risk here. I went for another one, and that is a guy that has scored fairly well so far, Douglas Santos. He's a Brazilian left back for Zenit, former HSV player. We got 13 million for him, very nice, and I love him as a player as well. He didn't play the last game against Juventus because he was injured, but now he was back in training this week and he is expected to play on the weekend in the Russian Premier League. So I think the chance of him playing is higher than the chance of Tsimikas playing, because if he's fit, he will 100% play. He's one of the key players in this side, and he is a very offensively gifted left back. He was our best player when he was with us. He already had a great performance against Malmö, and they're playing Malmö again. That is also one of the reasons, because I just see Malmö as the weakest side of the whole Champions League, and Zenit I think will beat them comfortably again. So for 4.4 million I'm gonna pick him, and 5% of the other managers also had this idea. I wasn't the first, but I'm gonna go for you, Douglas Santos, and this is my team with 0.3 million euros left. But of course you guys will have a completely different team than me probably, so I'm gonna give you a few tips of players that are not really suitable for my team, but are still smart tips to bring in for this match day if you have the funds and if you can fit them in your team. So first of all, Sébastien Haller, I already talked about him. He will be good, I think, for 9.1 million. Leroy Sané obviously as well, even selected by less players against Dynamo Kiev. He might be a good choice as well. Then probably, because Barca have a decisive game, Memphis Depay, I kind of feel like gonna have the first game here where he really scores well. Yeah, he's a player I also had in mind. If you think that Barca will win against Benfica, then he might be the choice for you. Then Stefan de Vrij from Inter, center back, who I think won't concede against Shakhtar. I predicted 0-0, unpopular, but I think we can agree that Inter will probably not concede many goals against Shakhtar, and the chance for a clean sheet here is high. If I still had a free transfer myself, I would have definitely brought him in for Nacho, who I don't think will perform well. I don't even know if he will start. And then also, if you still need a striker, Diogo Jota might be the man for you, because I highly believe that he will play against Porto. Again, rotation might be a thing for Kloppo. He's been in great form lately, also scored here against Atletico, and I can really see him playing and possibly also scoring against Porto. Only 8 million, not a lot for a striker, only selected by 5% of the players as well. So maybe that's even a differential for you here. And yeah, those are some players that might still make sense for your teams. I'm gonna make the incredibly stupid decision to confirm my transfers now 5 days before the deadline, but I simply want to show you my team here and also who I captained. I picked Douglas Santos actually, since I don't have a lot of players who play on the Tuesday. It's only Adeyemi, Danjuma, Douglas Santos and the Chelsea defenders, and I think if Douglas Santos gets an assist or a goal against Malmö and also keeps a clean sheet, then he's gonna be very valuable. So now you've seen how the Fiago 69ers are lining up for matchday numero 5 of this Champions League season. I really hope to climb up the table even more, maybe get into the top 250 or so. That would be great. And you guys can let me know your teams down in the comments. Who are your hidden gems for this match day? Who do you rather want to avoid? everything down there because you guys are, as always, experts as well. Yeah, and I don't even know why I'm wearing these glasses all the time. I actually wanted to put them off, but I forgot to do it. Fantasy Fiago's out. See you next video. Peace.